Hey VC, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a while. Mostly because I was without a turntable for 3 weeks. More than that, really, considering the problems I was having. Yeah, it was really depressing. It was, it's fine to reconnect with CDs and stuff, but I hated not having the choice. Anyway, that resolved itself just in time for Record Store Day. Happy day after Record Store Day. I thought I'd come on and make a video. Now, the last few years, Record Store Day, I personally, I can't handle the scene at the big indie record stores here in town. I mean, I love the stores. Every day is Record Store Day as far as I'm concerned. But even with the rainy weather, I knew it was going to be even worse because there would be no outside party for all these people to go. Everyone's going to want to be in the little store, and I can't handle it anymore. And no record is worth getting up and standing in line. For me personally, for those of you who are into it, Dr. Strangely Strange, I saw on Instagram that he had a big Record Store Day, and I'm sure there are other stores that it's not quite as much of a scene. Anyway, I can't do it. But so I do Record Store Day in a low key kind of way. I had to go out yesterday, and so I thought, well, I'll just hit up this place called McKay's. It's basically a bookstore, but it's this gigantic warehouse kind of thing. I've talked about that store before, but they do Record Store Day. They get exclusive stuff in, and it's huge and it's kind of out of the way. It's more on my side of town, and I just thought, I went late in the morning, and hey, what do you know? I found some things. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to talk more about the turntable at the end of the video if you're interested in all of that. But anyway, let's get right into the record. So yeah, I picked up this ludicrously expensive 7-inch by Goat Fuzz, backed by Goat Fizz. These guys, now I have all their albums. They have 3 albums, right? And I don't know what I think of them, but this is like the 3rd or 4th single I have by them, and I really like their singles. Better than their albums, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they'll do a singles comp that'll be like the coolest Goat album ever. I don't know. It's on nifty colored vinyl, but yeah, $12. $12. I mean, yeah, it's from the UK. Anyway, I like this quite a bit actually. And then, oh my god, my least favorite format of all, 10 inches. But I really like this band, Kylesa, not sure how to pronounce their name. It's live at Maida Vale, BBC. Little 4-song EP. At 45, it's not only a 10-inch, it spins at 45. That's fine. So at 10 inches, well, first of all, I have no way to clean them on my machine. I mean, there is a way, but I would have to like drill a hole and alter its whole. So I tend to avoid 10 inches. Although this sounded great, didn't really need cleaning. So limited to 1,500 copies. Yeah, they had 1 copy. I was psyched to find it. Same with that Goat single. They only had 1 copy, so I was nice. Pretty psyched to grab it. I got into the record store spirit of like, ooh. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, especially Andreas, song mainliner. Hey, man. I thought of you when I saw they had multiple copies of this. I knew it was coming out, but I was like, I didn't know how limited it is, and I was like, if I see it, great. But yeah, they had multiple copies. So anyway, I wouldn't even know about this record if it weren't for the VC and Andreas especially, because he has shown this numerous times over the years. A previous reissue, IK Rico, You Baby. Sorry about the adult All right, so what is there to say about this? Limited edition, hand numbered, 180 colored vinyl. Yeah, it's the same color as this, kind of a yellow. It's looking more green on the screen here, but it's kind of a urine yellow. Hand numbered, includes a bonus CD, and indeed it is hand numbered. Number 0437 of 1000. Bamboo Records, manufactured under license from ODL. Who knows? All right, so for those of you who don't know Sonic Mainliner, you should really watch his channel because one of my favorites in the VC for sure. And so this is exactly what it looks like. It's a Japanese like erotic movie star singing and moaning, and there's that 70s kind of funk strings, and it's Japanese, so that just makes it even weirder. This is everything I was hoping for. So thanks, Andreas. Actually listened to that with the wife, and she just thought it was hilarious, and it's sexy. It's sexy. All right. Pick this up. Marcos Valle. I'm not gonna be able to say this. Vontade de rever voce. Portuguese. I can't. This is a later Marcos Valle record, a Brazilian pop from '81, I believe. Peter Cetera is on this, from Chicago. So '81, we're well into disco thing, but it's Brazilian, and if I understood Portuguese, maybe it would be just insufferable because I would understand what he's singing about. Although some things are it'll be English and Portuguese at the same time. This is nice and not essential, but originals are dang rare, and sit nicely with my Light in the Attic Marcos Valle reissues. All right, they have one copy of this. I was really psyched because. Soft Machine live at Paradiso. This is from I think March of 1969. I was familiar with music on this. It's a radio broadcast from Amsterdam. Had like a boot CDR for the longest time, and there's been numerous bootlegs of this, but this is official apparently because Hugh Hopper wrote the liner notes and was kind of like saying, at this point in our lives, might as well make a buck off of it. And it's it's a live recording from 1969 off the radio, so there's problems with it, but the music is great, and this band with Robert Wyatt, didn't last long, so this is essential, and it's on like special swirly purple vinyl, soft purple vinyl. Yeah, this is cool. Very cool. All right, and this is cool. I was kind of hoping to find this reissue of Moondog's self-titled record that originally came out on Columbia Masterworks in 1969, I believe. Originals of this are really hard to find, as you can imagine. And this is done by Columbia Legacy, right? I think this is all straight up. And it sounds really good. It's on white vinyl, which is a little annoying, but it sounds nice. The first side is off center, and so it's sort of minimalist classical music, but then there's like strings, and off center pressings drive me crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. The music's fantastic. It's some cross between Sun Ra and proto-minimalist classical music, neoclassical music. Crazy genius. They had numerous copies. I was thinking maybe trying another one, but then again, off-center pressings, it's not just one. It'll be a whole bunch. Whatever. So that's what I found in McKay. I was like, oh, great. you know, my attitude towards Record Store Day is like, I look at the list and I go, oh, that looks cool, you know, but, you know, I'm not going to cry if I don't get any of these things. And so with that attitude, I go to a place like McKay, late in the day, there's no one there. Well, I mean, it was a Saturday, but like no big scene, and, you know, found some cool stuff, so happy Record Store Day. Now, today, and typically, I've done the day after Record Store Day. That's when I go to Griney's. And, you know, I'm fully expecting that all the good stuff's going to be gone. You know, it's picked over. But go check it out and talk to my friends there and be like, hey, what was the scene like? So me and my nephew went in the rain. The rain needs to stop. I mean, we needed rain. It needs to stop now. But we ventured out. You know, it's like we saw all these like one-car wrecks going into town, and I'm like, God, the things we do for records, you know, we're crazy. All right, 11 minutes. So went to Griney's. Yeah, they had very little left, but I did find this. Flower Traveling Band. Anywhere. This is their first album. This is an unofficial reissue on Phoenix. Now, this is kind of funny. See the hype sticker there? It says limited edition, hand numbered. Hand numbered, really? Okay. I don't know if you can see that. You can't really, but you know, if that's hand numbered, they made these little dots. No, that is machine numbered. All right. Whatever. And, you know, 180 gram colored vinyl. Well, it's white. White is the absence of color. I'm being picky here. I actually listened to this before making this video. What a weird record. You know, I looked it up on Discogs. There's one copy of the original Japanese on Philips for over $1,000. You know, and these like, you know, Japanese hippie dudes riding their motorcycles in the nude. I mean, it's so 1970. They did a cover of, a bunch of covers, like House of the Rising Sun, which is actually really good, and 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson, which is a rough and ready version. It's anyway, Japanese heavy side from 1970. I have the other unofficial reissue of Satori on Phoenix label, and I assume they'll do a black vinyl of this, so yeah, pretty cool. And here's another one, and you know, speaking of hippies, here's another thing I've had on like boot CD forever. The Acid Test, Ken Casey's The Acid Test from 1966, I think it came out. Featuring snippets of the Grateful Dead. Recorded in a, it says studio. I mean, they did an acid test at the at Sound City in LA, and recorded it. I don't know if y'all know the story about the acid tests in California with the Dead and Ken Kesey and Neil Cassidy and that whole scene. Anyway, they made a recording of it, and so it is indeed, you know, everyone tripping on acid. And it's basically unlistenable. But, I mean, come on. As a recovering Deadhead, I had to add it to the collection. Alright. They had several copies of this, too, and God, this was expensive. And here's the other thing. I'd done a big purge, a medium purge, and so I had quite a bit of credit at Griney's, and so this trip today and buying shit like this was basically free. I think all these records I'm showing now here, I paid $1. So, yeah, so the Andromeda Strain reissue, originally on Cap from, early 70s. I remember seeing the Andromeda Strain, I think in the movie theater when I was a kid. So it's electronic soundtrack by Gil Millet. And as you can see, this is still sealed. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm gonna have to like tear off all the shrink wrap in order to get at the record, which is inside this thing that opens up. And yeah, I thought, why not? Maybe I should leave it sealed. When I was in Knoxville for Big Ears, Wild Honey Records had an original of this on the wall. Really nice shape for like $160. So, yeah. This hype sticker is pretty hilarious too. One of the first electronic soundtracks created with electronic instruments. Wow, really? Alright, so that's it for the Record Store Day exclusive stuff. Went to Grammys 1, and the other, Grammys is split in 2 stores. It's a little weird. I have this credit, and I just wanted to see if there were these African comps still sitting there. Sure enough, they were. So, sorry about that. Zeke, the Vinyl Geek, showed this recently, and when I saw it in the store, I was like, oh, I gotta pick that up. So it's Christophe Lemaire. What is it? Christophe Lemaire and Now Again Records present Can't You Hear Me? African Nuggets and Garage Rock from Nigeria, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. 2 LPs and a non-gatefold for a good price. Again, I haven't opened this up yet. Zach really liked it, and he's not one for modern pressings and stuff. So I'm on a real African music kick these days. Which I'll tell you more about later. This had also been sitting there for a while, and it just looked so cool that I had to get it. Synthesize the Soul, Astro Atlantic Hypnotica from the Cape Verde Islands, 1973 to 1988. So this is going to be along the lines of that Space Echo comp on Analog Africa, which I love. And I was checking the mastering, the guy who mastered that and a bunch of those Analog Africa things, and checked out his website, and it turns out he mastered this, so I was like, okay, well, I know it's going to sound good. 2 LPs and a gatefold. I don't think there's any duplication of tracks here. Yeah, totally. I'm really into these African music comps, and especially the Analog Africa label. I think I announced back in October or whatever that I was gonna get as many of those as I can, and I have them, and I need to make a separate video about them, but they had the brand new one that came out on Friday. This is Vincent Hinu. He was the main singer in this band. They've done a number of comps by this band from Benin, and this is his solo record. And yeah, I mean, all this stuff is top quality. And this is one I listened to it online and wasn't sure about it. It's a later thing. It's from '84. It's Caribbean disco. It's a cool cover. I noticed on their Bandcamp page that it had gone out of print. And I was like, all right, well, I should snag this. So paid $1 for all those records. All right. So yeah. In the background, you're listening to my last Bandcamp release, Imaginary Vinyl, which got a nice little sidebar write-up in Jazzwise in the UK. They're going to send me a copy. I should be getting it soon, and I will be sure to brag about it. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's just a download. It's amazing that anyone would waste ink on it. All right, we're 20 minutes in. Do you want to hear about the turntable? If you don't want to hear about the turntable, you can shut it off. Dislike it, unsubscribe, whatever. So yeah, the turntable. I just wanted to show you what I wound up getting. It's kind of, yeah, it's a dream. It's the VPI Prime made in America, weighs like 60 pounds. It's massive. It's massive. It's when I was setting up my most recent system, which I call the Harley, I stretched on the speakers and amplification and preamp, which is Macintosh and Bowers and Wilkins, and I just didn't have the money to get a front end commensurate with the rest of it. And so yeah, the Clear Audio concept was a capable turntable, particularly when I put a really nice cartridge on it. It sounded pretty good, but it's like power supply is real flimsy, and part of it was my own fault. But anyway, those of you out there who own that, I know Anders in Stockholm has one, and Two Turtle, he's not really around anymore. Well, neither is Anders so much, but anyway, it's a fine turntable. This is something else, and the reason why I went so long without a turntable is because I don't have a VPI dealer here in Nashville that I'm aware of. So I ordered it from Music Direct out of Chicago. And I actually wound up talking to a really knowledgeable guy. And so I wanted to get a new cart for it, and you know, they'll set it up for me, and I was like, great. I was a little nervous about this tone arm, but then like the cart wasn't showing up, and I was losing my mind. I mean, it was so depressing to not be able to play records, and you know, this is how fucked up I am. I'm still like going record shopping. You know, I found some great records I'm going to show in another video, but you know, I bring it home and it's like I can't play it. So finally, it got to be like Monday of last week, and I called up the guy and I said, if the cartridge doesn't come in, if it's not in your possession right now, just ship the turntable to me, and I'll set it up myself with the Clear Audio cartridge that still has some life in it. So I wound up setting up the turntable myself, and so the tone arm is a 3D printed tone arm, and the unique thing about almost all of the DPI turntables, they use a unipivot design, which means that the cup of this tone arm literally rests on the head of a pin. Well, it's this iron spike, but this sharp, it balances on this pin. Instead of having like a gimbal bearing, you know, which basically only lets the tone arm move up or sideways, with, you know, a little bit of tolerance, you know, between. This arm, you know, you pick it up and it weighs, you know, 2.2 grams, because that's what I'm tracking at, and it just wants to, you know, it'll just pop right off that. It's taking a little getting used to, and when I was setting up the cartridge, it was like, let's just say it's not for the faint of heart. But I successfully did it, you know. My nephew helped me, mostly in giving me moral support, and kind of watching me, because he'd never set up a turntable before. And, you know, I'd successfully mounted the new cartridge on the concept. I thought, how hard could it be? Well, magnitudes of order more going on. And then it sounds fucking awesome. I mean, I spent a lot of time just playing old records that I'm like really familiar with, just to hear what it sounds like. I mean, I knew it was going to sound good. I knew it was going to sound, you know, better than the concept, you know, lower noise and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, since I'd listened to the Clear Audio Maestro cartridge on the concept, I felt like I knew what that cartridge sounded like. It was well broken in. No, it's otherworldly on this. I mean, I can only think that freely moving tone arm, you know, it's almost frictionless. Now the concept has that magnetic bearing, which is pretty ingenious, but when you pick up the tone arm and move around, you can feel the magnetic forces. There's like, it's not frictionless, like there's no drag, but there's like, you can feel that magnetic force like kind of stabilizing the arm. Well, not on the unipivot arm. I mean, and you go to cue it up, you know, it kind of wobbles a little bit. You have to let it settle down, and same thing with picking it up. You know, I was chatting with Joe. I'm really rambling on. I'm sure everyone's turned it off by now. But I'm going to close with this. I was chatting with Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe Robertson. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the last name. About playing records versus CDs, and he made the observation that playing a record is like the Japanese tea ceremony. Where you're mindful of the teacup and the tea kettle and the temperature of the water and the taste of the tea, and just it's a Zen, it's a Zen exercise, and that playing a record is kind of like that. Well, handling that tone arm is definitely an exercise in mindfulness, and every time I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going across the ocean. Backley safe in port. I've taken to locking it in place, and but boy, when it plays, it just once it settles in the groove. I played warped records that just... Anyway, I don't know. Is there anything else I want to say about it? Oh yes, one other thing I wanted to say about it. I live in a wooden house with wooden floors. I'm in the basement now, but my stereo is upstairs. And so the floor, springs. And I had terrible problems with footfalls with the concept. And tried all kinds of things. I would probably do it a little differently now, but this thing is so massive. We can dance. We can dance. Yeah, the VPI Prime. I'm so happy. All right, folks, that's all I got for you. 27 minutes, all right. Thanks for putting up with me. It had been a while. It's nice to catch up. I need to catch up on comments on my last video. Like I said, I was in a funk. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a great record store day, whether you celebrate or not. And take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.